At this time, I have the privilege to present Sharon Panske with the 2022 Donna Newberry Perseverance Award. This award recognizes an NFCA member coach who has demonstrated extraordinary strength of will and character in the fight to overcome a physical, mental, or social adversity that presented an additional challenge to the already demanding job of being a coach. Sharon, a longtime coach and athletic trainer, led the Wisconsin Oshkosh softball team for 16-plus seasons, while also serving as the department's athletic trainer for 14 years. An active member of the NFCA for more than 30 years, Sharon served on the board of directors as the first vice president and was a member of numerous NFCA and NCAA committees. Despite cancer treatments, which Sharon endured with COVID-19 restrictions, she continued to work as a board-certified athletic trainer for the Richland Hospital Therapy Center as allowed by her doctors. Sharon has helped fundraise in support of Greater Richland Area Cancer Elimination, the GRACE program, and her Panske Posse, which has worked to raise money for the Wisconsin Ovarian Cancer Alliance, the WOCA. Coach Panske is a true depiction of perseverance and strength. Please welcome to the podium, Sharon Panske.
There's a lot of people out there. I'm going to take this off, though. First of all, I'd like to thank the NFCA and the awards committee for creating the Perseverance Award, and nobody better to name it after than Donna Newberry. Also, a huge shout out to the Wild Bunch. Stand up, Wild Bunch. And Wild Bunch, stand up. If you have a Wild Bunch shirt on, you need to stand up. Jerry Pinkston was the leader of this, as I found out after I made all my reservations and things, and told my sister, who was here, that I had made my flight reservation, and she just kind of gave me this goofy look, and I was like, I told you I was going to go. Well, then I get the letter from Carol. Good thing I was sitting down. And I just thought it was like the general reminder to renew your membership kind of thing. And I'm reading this, and I'm like, important message. And I'm like, what did I do now? But informing me of this award. And Jerry was the one who took on the leadership of this nomination, along with, and then she pulled in Sheila Goulis, Lacey Lee Baker, Marge Willitson, and my conniving sister Gail, who, after this all came out, I was like, why is she asking me for some of this stuff? This is really weird. But now I know why. I'd also like to congratulate all the other winners today, and last night, the Hall of Fame people. That's just awesome, and it's actually very fun to be back in this atmosphere. It's been a while, so it's been a lot of fun. What is a survivor? Most of the time, I don't feel like a survivor. It's more like I'm in a constant battle every day. I honestly can say I never imagined I would be where I am today. Yes, I do have a lot of papers here, but I want you to know it's in font 40, so I don't have to use my cheaters. So we're good. We're good. Don't get worried, because I don't think it's big enough to read in the back. Because if it was, I'd just scan it real slow and turn pages so I didn't have to talk at all. But you know, knowing Donna, being in coaching in the same division with Donna in Division III, I also had the pleasure of playing against her teams as well as coaching. Donna would never give an opponent any type of advantage. One spring we were in Florida at the Rebel Games, and our first game of the tournament, and it's against Muskingum. As we were warming up, I'm talking to my assistants about batting lineup, making sure we got what we want since it's our first game. And I see the umpires go in the dugout, and I'm like, oh, they're just doing bat and helmet checks, no big deal. I don't need to be there for that. And then all of a sudden I look, and here they go walking out of our dugout with 4 of our helmets. I'm like, I go in and ask our 2 managers, I'm like, why are they taking our helmets? Oh, we don't know, they just took them. I'm like, did you ask? Did you call me over? No. So I go running after them, and they had little bitty cracks at the brim, which I never noticed. We checked them. I told my assistants to check them, so I'm going to blame it on them. So we have 3 helmets, which doesn't really help you a lot if you have bases loaded and your on-deck batter can't be out there because they don't have a helmet on. So I thought, well, I'll just ask Donna if we can borrow a couple helmets while we're batting so we can at least have our on-deck batter up there. And she looks me square in the eye and says, no. Oh, okay. And she just turned around and walked away, and I'm like, well, shit, what are we going to do now? Fortunately, UW Lacrosse was there, and they were gracious enough to give us their helmet bags so we could use a few of their helmets for that game. And then I took the bus to the closest sporting goods store and bought helmets. And I said to the umpires, I said, no, these are blue, they're not black, but I couldn't get black. Am I going to be okay with color matching? And they're like, yeah, that's okay. And I'm like, good, thank you. So I'm like, we might as well pack up and go home because we don't have enough batting helmets for the rest of the tournament. So this is just a small example of Donna's fight, and I'm honored and humbled to be receiving this award. I'd also like to thank the Panske posse. There's a large group of friends, family, many of you coaches out there. The Wild Bunch is also part of the Panske posse. And I think we got about 15 states covered, and they have been there for me from the get-go. The other one that's been there from the get-go is my sister Gail. Stand up. I finally get to boss her around and her telling me, you need to go lay down and take a nap. So, but she's been there every step of the way. When the world pandemic started, I was having problems with a detached retina. What else would you want to do during a pandemic? Have a detached retina. So I had to drive 30 minutes to see the eye doctor. They told me I had a detached retina, but I could go home, and they'd get me an appointment in La Crosse, which was 90 minutes from my house. And I said, so are they going to dilate just the one eye, or are they going to dilate both eyes? And they said, oh, they'll just dilate the one. So I'm like, okay, I don't need a driver. So I drive up to La Crosse, get there, and they dilate both my eyes. Have you ever had your eyes dilated? And it's sunny out? And you can't see anything because your eyes are like this? Yeah. So on the way home, I was never more thankful for a pandemic because there were no cars on the roads. Well, I should say at least I didn't see any. I didn't see any deer either, which I'm even more thankful for. I got cleared to work, and about 5 days after returning to work, I noticed something wasn't right. So I went and made an appointment with my doctor, and she informed me that I needed to have a hysterectomy because I had a tumor in my uterus. They did the hysterectomy, they did the frozen biopsy, and it came back positive. Now, what they didn't know is that I had come out of the anesthesia, so I heard them talking beforehand before they told me, and I was laying there, and I'm like, this has to be a nightmare. But, you know, again, what else would you want to do during a pandemic? Let's just get cancer on top of a torn retina. So, you know, I'm thinking I'm 0 for 2, and we're not heading in the right direction. As a doctor was telling me this in the hospital room, I don't know how she got in, but she got in because they weren't letting anybody in the hospital at that time. But Gail got in, and she's standing at the door. And I think my first words to her were, "What are you doing here?" So, but she was there and has been there every step of the way. The whirlwind was about to begin. Next, we waited for the biopsy results and trying not to think about that for a week is not fun either. Phone calls, text messages, cards, emails from friends were greatly appreciated and gave me the strength to fight the strength to fight. And these messages and support and encouragement keep coming yet today. And a lot of them, I don't know how you know it, but you know the right time to send a message. A week later, I was told that I had type 4 carcinosarcoma of the uterus, which is a very rare and aggressive cancer. It affects 1 to 4 women out of 100,000. I'm one of those lucky 1 to 4. Unfortunately for me and anybody else those other 4, there's no cure. The goal was to get it into remission and all that stuff, and I'll get into that in just a minute. But, if you think you're having a bad day, just remember this. There's someone sitting in a doctor's office hearing for the first time that they have cancer. The only thing worse is getting all the information and the details about the type of cancer you have and what the treatments and that are going to be. I have stage 4 cancer that is non-curable with the goal of getting into remission and staying there for a long time. The doctor said that that's the goal, and it will eventually come back, not if, but when. And we would just do treatment again and go through the same process as many times as we needed to. Well, my remission lasted 5 months. So in July of 21, I started back on chemo, and I was off for a little while, and then 2022, I believe, has been the year of no hair. And when you live in Wisconsin in the wintertime, it gets a little chilly. But when you hear those words, this cancer will take your life, I read it. I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. But then when the doctor is sitting across from you and they tell you that, it's like a punch to the gut. And he looked at me kind of funny, and I said, no, you told me that, and I knew that from the get-go. I said, but you just made it official. And because I told him at the first meeting that I wasn't going to sit down and fight. Nobody's beaten this cancer yet, but why not me? Somebody's got to do it. And that has kind of been my mentality since. He's been very good in with keeping us up to date and plans of everything. He told me to keep that attitude up because every day, because that will make a big difference. And he said, well, I'm not giving up. There's 2 options. You can give up, which is not an option because I'm a competitor like every one of you out there. So that wasn't an option. So the only option I had was to fight. And I've been doing that for 3 years now. Unfortunately, a couple weeks ago, I had a CT scan done. I was on one last chance drug that was 5% chance of working. And unfortunately, I was pulling for the 5 to come through, but it didn't. So I had a CT scan done, and there's more growth and all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of at the, staying positive, listening to my body, resting when I need to, and taking a lot of stupid pills. The other thing I did is when I first found out in 2000 that I had cancer and I knew my hair was going to fall out, I decided, let's turn this negative into a positive. So I put it out there, and I just said, If anybody wants to make a donation to Grace, if you donate money, whoever donates the most money gets to shave my head. Well, I was athletic trainer at a high school working with the football team, and all those boys thought that would be really fun. So they're like talking to their parents, Mom, Dad, I need money, I want to shave Sharon's head. So once we got done, and I'm thinking, if we could make $500, that would be awesome. I would be so pumped about that. Well, this little small community of Richland Center I now call home, and several people from some in this room that made donations to that cause. We ended up raising $5,747.61 for someone to shave my head. And this money went to Grace, which is our local group that supports people that are diagnosed with cancer, and they give, like Walmart, because Walmart's the only store we got, give us Walmart cards for food. They give quick trip cards, which is for gas. They can pay bills. They can do a lot of different things. And so I was shocked, to say the least, that we were able to raise that much money. And some of the people I didn't know, some of them were grandparents of the kids that I had taken care of. I got some money from one of the players when I was at Oshkosh and was assistant volleyball coach, and then I was their athletic trainer. Her mother sent me a check, and I was like, this is from like 20 plus years ago. And so I felt very honored that so many people were willing to step up and send money, and it was a big boost for Grace because of COVID. For those of you, let's see, I think I said that already. See, Sheila, I told you I'd get through this quicker. This small community has been wonderful to me in support, and I also got a wonderful little video from UW Oshkosh from their current softball team. And I don't really know these kids at all, and they made this really good video to Jesse's Girl. I don't know why they picked Jesse's Girl, but they did. And so every time I hear that song, I think of this video, which was done very well, and it just, I watch it quite often because it's just a fun video. I have so many people to thank, and you find out who your true friends are in situations like this. I'm not going to name all names because I know I would forget somebody and I'd feel really bad, but I can always blame it on chemo brain, otherwise known as CB. The Wild Bunch has been there every step of the way in so many ways, and we always had fun when we were on the NCAA committee, and we're still having fun today when we get together each summer. Former players, teammates, student athletes at the schools I've covered, the numerous coaches, parents, and friends that have been there for me. My wonderful neighbors who watch over me and help me out when my sister can't be there. I truly have the best support army and hold me up each day. Sometimes life can be cruel. And when you get a message, text, email, phone call, or a video thanking you for being such a positive role model, it warms your heart. So if someone in your life has been there for you, reach out to them. Don't just leave them hanging. Reach out to them and thank them. Come on. I have a few do's and don'ts for you. Don't be sad. Don't shed any tears for me. God knows I've shed enough tears for about 1 million people, so I'm surprised I'm holding solid right now yet. Don't put things off. Do it now or do it as soon as you can, because you never know what your next day is going to be, if tomorrow will be there, how it's going to be, or what's going to happen. Do not give in, and certainly do not give up. Do make a bucket list and check things off. My bucket list was pretty long. Now it's pretty short. Through the grace of a bunch of people, one of my former college teammates sent an email out to a bunch of friends for a funds for me to get stuff checked off my bucket list. And it's getting me to California for a trip to visit my good friend from college. It's getting me my dream trip to Ireland. And I'm thinking a whole lot more. So I thank each and every one of them for those people, and even some here this week that have reached out. It's greatly appreciated. Stay active, stay positive, say I love you to your family and your friends, and be kind. I'd like to thank the NFCA again for creating this award and all the other awards. I mean, I've tried to get my high school coach to join the NFCA. I even told him I'd pay for his membership, and he just didn't want to do it. I said, you don't get it, dude. Like, you got to join this. This is for the kids. You know, you can get a lot of recognition for them, from academics to playing, and you know, a lot of good things can come, and you get a wealth of information from great coaches, and you know, so reach out to those people and get them. And our little group was talking the other day, and we just said, you know, hey, if each Emeritime member reaches out to a former coach that's not here, if we reach out to one coach and tell them to come, how many more people would we get here? So you know somebody that's a coach, that's a member, that's not here, get on them. Get them here, because some of my greatest memories of softball are from this convention, as well as, now I'm going to lose it, some of my best friends are here. We're met here, and we have been friends for, we'll just say, a lot of years. So thank you, I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to coming back next year.